Right, okay, welcome back to Upload TV and thanks for joining the Average Golfer for this, I don't know what it is, it's an update. It's an update to let you know where I've been. Thank you for those of you who sent the sort of comments in some previous videos concerned as to where I'd been, because I sort of disappeared off the face of the earth for probably 2.5 weeks. 2 episodes of the Thursday night show didn't appear. I didn't really have time to put any sort of messages out there to suggest that I would be disappearing for a couple of weeks, and like I said, there was a couple of people who were and quite nice about it as well, concerned about where I'd been, and a few messages to say hope all is well. So yeah, all is absolutely fine, but I thought it was maybe time to give you a little bit of an explanation as to why I disappeared and what I'm going to do going forward. So here we go. There's no script to this one, so it may be a bit mumbled, but let's see how we get on. So where have I been? Well, basically I'm involved in a few roles in terms of my working life, and one of them meant that I've been extremely busy over the last 2 or 3 weeks. That has literally drawn to a halt yesterday, so it means that I'm certainly back in the game in terms of being available to do my YouTube work again. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it will be back to what it was, and the reason being, the last 2 weeks has been kind of a bit of time to reflect on what I've done in terms of YouTube, what I wanted to do when I started out, and what I've ended up doing, and whether I want to carry on in that same sort of vein. And so I don't know all the answers to all those questions just yet, but I'll give you an update. So my mentality has been this. Let's start with the Thursday night show first of all. Thursday night show was, my original idea for that was a show where we could have a debate. So every week we get lots of interaction with the audience, throw up in the main a core question, obviously golf related, that we could all have a bit of a natter about, much in the same way as you'd walk down a fairway with a few of your pals on a Saturday morning, and whatever's gone on in the golfing world during that week, you'd maybe have a little natter about it. One player would say one thing, your other mate would say another, and you'd all have a little bit of a debate about it all. And that was the intention, that was my core mentality about the Thursday night show. And that was great. And when that happened, when things arose in the golfing world that allowed for debate, then it was fantastic. The problem that happened with the Thursday night show for me was that it was the weeks when nothing much was going on. So obviously you generally needed some kind of, you needed an issue, you needed a controversy, you needed something out the norm to be able to debate something. So obviously that isn't going to happen every weekend. So the weeks that it didn't happen, I felt the show just got a little bit, it was a bit repetitive. I ended up repeating world news that you probably were already aware about, because we did it on a Thursday. Generally competitions would start that day, so I was reporting about news that had gone on from the previous weekend. And I just thought it was a little bit stale. Like I said, when there was a debate, when there was an issue to debate, I loved the show. I thought it was great. I loved the interaction. We got plenty of opportunities to chat in the comments, and it was one of the favourite things I did. But like I said, as the weeks progressed, did 40 shows on the bounce, there was a lot of those that I started to find out that I was really struggling for content. I was putting stuff out later and later in the day because, like I said, there wasn't much happening. And I found, like I said, I was putting things out for the sake of it, and that really isn't what I want to do. I'm never going to become a daily vlogger whereby I'm just telling you about the cup of tea I made or the salad I made or whatever else I did on a daily basis. That's never going to be me. I'm too busy first and foremost to do that. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, I think, which you've got to be to do all that. So churning fodder out is not what I want to do. Let's just deal with the Thursday night show first of all. My intention is that The other issue, by the way, was a Thursday night as well. I was always struggling whereby I think I was competing with too many other things in terms of a Thursday night, and this may be incorrect, but the start of any golf tournament, and certainly the major championship, saw a massive dip on a Thursday when those tournaments were on in terms of viewing figures. So I think one thing I'm going to probably change is the night in which I put this one out, and I think it's going to probably change to a Monday. The frequency, however, is going to change significantly. I'm not going to produce, I doubt I will produce on a weekly basis. And instead, I will put the content out as and when there is an issue to debate. Now, obviously, I don't know how frequent that is going to be. I wished it was every week. It's not going to be. It's unlikely that it is. So I'm going to try and put something out on as many Mondays as possible. And it will be, like I said, when the content allows it. So that's the Thursday night show. Going forward, the format will stay the same. I want it to be a debate between all us taggers in the golfing world, where we can have a good old debate about what has gone on. So that's the Thursday night show. Then I just go back to the previous comment that I made about the content that I'm putting out there. If I put into perspective my own, you've got to stick with your own beliefs and sort of what you like, what you're good, what your strengths are. I'm a biggest fan of, in terms of golf YouTube channel, is Fried Eggs Golf. And the reason I say that is because of the exact opposite to what I've been doing over the last 12 months. Randy, whether you like the channel or not, whether it's your cup of tea, what he does is he puts out original content, creative content on a frequent basis. It's not every day, it's not necessarily even every week, but he puts out what I consider creative and original content. Now, I ain't trying to do that either, because that's his bag, that's what he does very, very well. But what I do want to do is make sure the stuff I'm putting out there that I believe in, and that I believe is entertaining to watch, and is not just, like I said, putting stuff out there for the mere sake of it. So the things that I can focus on for definite that I will be doing going forward. The strength of the channel in terms of like the views that it gets and the feedback that it gets is the product testing. I do the product testing, obviously that's very much as and when it allows, depending on what products are being brought out into the marketplace, but I'm going to continue with that because I feel that, like I said, it's been a great strength of the channel. I'm going to look to try and improve that and make it better as we go forward. But what's happened is that there are plenty of professional golfers who test golf clubs and give their reviews. But as far as I know and understand, there are very few people, handicap golfers, and as I class myself as the average golfer, that are doing any sort of product testing. So that's a unique element to the channel, which I still feel has got a lot of, it's still, although the format is the same as the pros, the actual concept coming from the perspective of an average golfer, a handicap golfer, is still very much one of its own. So I'll continue to do that. I'll maybe even increase the volume in which I do that and dedicate a bit more focus on it, based on the fact that that's what people seem to like. And like I said, the views reflect that. The other thing with the Thursday night show was the numbers were starting to dip. I wasn't getting the viewing numbers, and although this is not a popularity contest, you've got to accept the fact that you are putting out content that you want people to enjoy, and the only reflection you can get on whether people enjoy it or not is by how many people tune in to watch. So that was another negative of the Thursday night show. Numbers were starting to dwindle a little bit, and whereas with the club product testing, they tend to be very, very high views. And then it's the sort of the other element is the course vlogs, and they've always been a kind of I don't know. I mentioned 6 months ago that I didn't like them and never do them. Then I met up with Liam from Golf Vlogs UK because he had a real sort of fun channel, has a great bit of fun and laughter. And I thought, well, I'll give this a go with Liam. And I've enjoyed them very much. I still don't think they're my 100% my bag. They're for more for others. I enjoy them when I do them. And I'm going to try and work on ways in which I can make my course vlogs a little bit more creative and original in terms of their content going forward, and that's something that I want to try and work on and try and improve. And as ever, I think that interacting with your audience is a major thing that I need to try and improve on, need to work out ways in which I can interact better with the people that support this channel. And again, that's something that I'm just going to have to find a way of doing, and we'll work that out going forward. I think that there's two. I mean, I was at 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I debated, you know, is this something I really want to even carry on with, because the commitment to it is vast. The numbers were dipping on certain elements of what I was doing. In particular, like I said, I keep talking about the Thursday night show. Numbers were dipping there. The course vlogs, they're okay, the numbers, but I don't get fantastic numbers on the course vlogs in terms of views. So I thought, well, you know, if I'm not producing stuff that people want to watch, then maybe it's time to pack in. But then you've got the other elements and the other side of things, where I've also got a very loyal following, subscriber base, whatever you want to call them, that makes me, guilt's the wrong word, but I feel like a duty to keep on producing the content for you people who've been very loyal to me in terms of the following. The same names and people comment each week, which I'm extremely grateful for. It makes a massive difference to what we do. And during this sort of 2.5 week spell, I played in a golf day. It was Golf Vlogs UK Golf Day over in Chorlton, and I've seen a lot of people there who watch both channels, who led on and all said hello, and some nice things as well. And but one in particular thing, that I was walking down a fairway, and a guy who I later found out to be Paul Bear. Paul Bear's a regular commenter on the channel. He's on one tee and I'm walking down the fairway, and he shouts over, "Andy, what happened to the Thursday night golf show last night?" And it's that kind of thing that makes you think, you know, it's quite humbling that people you know, ask where the show is, have missed the show, and watch the channel and support the channel in the way they do. And like I said, another few messages as well that came across with a similar kind of where are you, what's going on. So also I feel like there's a commitment that I've entered into to the people that follow and support the channel to keep the whole thing going. So that's pretty much it. After this video, you'll see that I'm going to release a video within half an hour of this going out of the Mizuno irons, which I'm a little bit behind with, once again due to this little bit of a delay, but I'm going to release, I've done 3 videos this week on product testing, so we're back in the game, we're back going again. Like I said, excuse me, we'll see how things pan out in the weeks and months ahead. That's the update. I've been as honest with you as I possibly can. That's where I'm at. That's my mentality right now. And all I can say is, for all those people that watch, all the subscribers, whatever you want to call yourselves, taggers, I am extremely grateful for the support. Nice to be missed, which, like I said, a few comments suggested. So I'll be back in the weeks ahead on a more frequent basis, and hopefully there won't be another 2.5 week break in the months forward anyway. Right, see you soon, and as ever, thanks for watching.